Welcome to the Dr. Mudgil podcast. This is episode 90. Wow, 10 away from the big 100. It is the middle of August. It is kind of like a rainy day today, but overall it's been beautiful out. It's been a great summer. We are almost smack dab in the middle of August. A few more days to go. My 19th wedding anniversary is coming up soon, so thinking a little bit about that. Thinking about all kinds of stuff this week, actually. And this is going to be more of like a thoughts of the week style podcast. And, it's amazing what kids, my kids who are now, 15, 13, and 11, it's amazing what they'll remind you of and, kind of looking at stuff through the fresh perspective of their young eyes. These little ones can really teach an old dog some new things or remind me of some important lessons. So this is going to be a thoughts of the week style podcast, like I said, and we're going to be talking about the importance of positive self-talk, of resilience, of grit. And this is really stemming from a conversation I had with my daughter this past weekend, who really, she always impresses me. So here we go. So as you may be aware, because I've posted various stuff on my Instagram story, etc., my daughter is a competitive equestrian. She's been doing it for a while, and she competes at a high level and has performed at a very high level. She does very well in the various tournaments she competes in. And these are all up and down the East Coast. And in the summer months, a lot of the competitions are here in the Northeast. So, she's been up in Vermont and Saratoga. She'll be at the Hamptons Classic coming up. Then she'll be up in Saugerties, which is in up in New York a bit. But this past weekend, she was competing at a competition in Princeton, New Jersey. And, I don't know much about, the sport, to be honest with you, I know my daughter competes, she looks great riding, but I don't know much about the nuances of scoring when you're an equestrian. But there's a lot of variables. So it's, there's basically like three essential variables every time you ride in a competition. There's the judging, and, judging can be somewhat subjective. The judges have their own unique eye, with which they're scoring the various riders. There's the horse, which is like this several 1,000-pound animal that has, a mind of his or her own. And of course, there's the rider. And, all of those, something could go wrong in all of those, three variables. The judging could be subjective or tough or, inconsistent. The horse could be in a bad mood that day and, just get spooked. And, sometimes you fall off the horse, which is like really quite a terrifying thing where you're a parent watching your daughter or son ride. And then, of course, there's the horse. Or rather, there's the rider. And the rider, it's a mindset thing. You could be very confident and do amazingly well, or you could have some negative self-talk and not perform as well as you would have hoped. And, my daughter is very aware of these multiple variables. So there'll be times where, she'll tell us, hey, my horse did great, but, I was a little bit off, or my horse and I, we did great, but the judging was a little bit inconsistent. And she's not using these things as excuses. It's just like she's sort of objectively analyzing what happened and, trying to make sense of it all. But, this past weekend, she had started off kind of a tough weekend. She competed. I unfortunately wasn't there with her. I had to work, but she competed on Friday and, did okay, not great, kind of like middle of the pack, I would say. But, that happens sometimes. And, we spoke on Friday night and she wasn't down on herself. She's like, Dad, was just kind of a tough day. And, there was, I screwed up a couple things and, the judging was a little bit tough, but, I think I know what's going on. I'm going to get better. And, tomorrow will be a better day. And unfortunately, Saturday, she didn't really compete on Saturday. I think there was like one event that she was competing in, but she didn't do great in it. And, we spoke Friday, we spoke Saturday morning, and, she was in a good mood and everything Saturday morning. But she called me later Saturday afternoon, and she was, just very upset. She was crying on the phone, which obviously makes her dad feel very sad. And she was explaining to me that, she just doesn't know what's going on. Like, when she's practicing, everything is going so well. She's hitting all the jumps. She's timing everything perfectly. She can't possibly be doing any better when she's practicing. And this was what had been going on, leading up to this competition and during the competition itself when you do your practice runs. But when she got into the ring, she's like making mistakes that she's just never, ever done before. She's missing jumps, or she's hitting a rail when she's doing a jump, or she's mistiming things, or, going in an incorrect sequence. And, she's like, these are literally things I've never, ever done in my years of competition. I have no idea what's going on. And it was kind of like building on itself, right? So like maybe a little bit of that happened on Friday, then a little bit happened on Saturday. And listen, like I said, I don't know much about like advice I could give her on being an equestrian. That's not really my field of expertise. I actually know nothing about it. But I do know a little bit about, mindset, being on the planet as long as I have, and, the things that I think about a lot and talk about. And, one of the things that I was hearing was, things are going so well in practice, but in competition, there's like these mistakes that are happening that, she's never, ever encountered before. And usually when that happens, it's like negative self-talk, right? Like, you're not going into the ring thinking, hey, I'm going to hit these jumps. This is exactly what I'm going to do. You're going into the ring thinking, oh shit, I hope I don't screw up, or I hope I don't make this mistake. And, those negative self-thoughts just kind of grow and grow and grow on themselves. And, we talked quite at length about it. We talked about, trying to squash out any negativity, just focusing on your training and your positive thoughts. And, what you're doing. You've been doing this for years and you're doing great in practice. Visualizing, kind of closing your eyes and visualizing yourself going through the course, various things that she could do, just to put her mind in the right place. And, we ended off the conversation with like, she felt a little bit better. I think I certainly felt better talking to her. And then throughout the night, we were out, we were out for the night, but I would send her texts like throughout the night, just like stay positive, think positive thoughts, swash out negative energy, et cetera, et cetera. Sunday morning, same thing. Her riding coach, who's amazing, spoke with her as well, talked to her about various breathing exercises she could do, things that she could do like live while she's actually competing, just certain strategies she could use when she's in the ring. And amazingly, on like Sunday, she just absolutely crushed. She was in 2 separate competitions and she was champion of both competitions. I think she won 7 out of the 8 competitions in first place that she competed in. The other one was like second or something like that. But she absolutely dominated, was just back to her old self. And, I'm not taking any credit for it. It's all her. And, she's an amazing rider and did incredibly well. But, for me, I've been thinking about it all week. I was like, she was kind of at the lowest of lows that I've ever seen her, and just really down on herself. And she's like overall like a very chill person. Things don't really rattle her that much. She can bounce back pretty easily from any of the rare mishaps that happen. But this was different. Like this time she was kind of she was really down on herself and really just questioning if she'd ever be able to recover. And the fact that she was able to recover so quickly, and her coach gets 99% of the credit. Dad maybe gets 1%, although all the credit really does go to my daughter for elevating herself and performing so well. But it just had me think about how important positive self-talk is. Humans, this is something that I've spoken about before. Like negative thoughts and negativity just sounds so much louder than positivity. Like frequently you'll remember something bad that happened, but you won't remember the millions of good things that happen. And it's similar with my daughter. She's won so many competitions. She's done so well throughout the years. She practices, she works hard, and, she hit like a little bit of a rut. And, I think a significant portion of that rut was allowing negativity to, grow in her mind. And she was fertilizing those negative thoughts with more negativity, and just built on itself and built on itself and built on herself. And, kudos to her for being able to break out of it. But it's something that, I think we can all learn from. It happens to everybody. It does, it happens in sports all the time. There's a story, I don't remember the exact details, but Kobe Bryant had like he missed a bunch of free throws in a game, and then they flew to the next city, and it was like 2 in the morning or something like that. And Kobe told one of the trainers, hey, find me a gym, and he went straight to the gym and just started to hit like 1,000 free throws or whatever it was, some like insane number to reset himself. And when I'm talking about positive self-talk and positivity, that's it's, you can't just be positive, say, hey, I'm going to kick ass and I'm going to be great at this. You have to, that has to be built on a foundation of hard work. Just working as hard as you can, practicing as hard as you can, being as prepared as you can, and then trusting your preparation. It happens in tests all the time. I remember when I was in like high school taking a test, and like the first question is like really hard and your heart starts racing and you're panicking, and you have to be able to, like, in real time, walk yourself off that ledge and say, hey, whoa, relax. I studied, I'm prepared, take a couple of deep breaths, and I'm going to move on. And, that's something that we all need to do. Yes, you got to work hard. You got to prepare. You have to do everything that's in your power to, align yourself with success. But, negative thoughts, bad things are going to happen. They happen to all of us. It's how we bounce back from those things. And the way we do that is you have to groom positivity. You have to groom positive thoughts. You have to look in the mirror and say, hey, you got this. Because the minute you let a negative thought take over your psyche and take over your mindset, it will lead you down a very dark road. And, it's amazing what my 15-year-old daughter reminded me of. And, I think it's an important lesson for us all. I think many of us, and, this is somewhat cliche, but many of us think of success as a sort of like linear line that just goes straight up, or, sort of, diagonally up. But the truth is, it's a little bit of this, then a little bit of that, then a little bit of this, then a little bit of that, then a little bit of this, it goes up and down and up and down and up and down. But the way you maintain that positive momentum and you maintain success, a successful trajectory, I should say, is through positive self-thought. That's what helps you get through those bumps in the road when things may not go as you expect them to. So with that, I hope you all have a wonderful, restful weekend. Let those positive thoughts fertilize your mind and lead you on your path to success. That's all I got to say. Let's get it.